Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well today. And we just want to welcome you to the Secrets of Finance Broker Success in 2017 webinar. We appreciate you taking the time. Know everybody's busy. And just want to wish you a very happy new year and hope everybody's got a great start. My name is Paul Smoot. I'm responsible for broker relationships at LendingOne, and we'll get into more of that later on for you. We do have a big group today, great amount of interest, so we're real excited to get started. And, we're looking ahead to this year that lays before us. I mean, 2017 is here, and everybody knows the capital markets in the first quarter is always crazy. I think this will be a year of what we all make of it individually and as we all help each other. So we'll see some challenges. Depending on your business model and where rates actually go. But the idea, I think, as it's always been, is to find ways to do business differently or even better than before. And our goal in this webinar and future webinars is to make information and ideas available so that you can use those as catalysts to greater success, and hopefully you'll get both ideas and information that you can use in your daily business when we're done today. We'll spend some time talking today with our special guest about opportunities in the equipment, small business, and commercial lending space. And then I'll give you a brief overview of what we do here at LendingOne in the residential investor market. We know everybody's busy, so we're going to try to keep this to under an hour. If you'll hang in there, I think you'll find that the information that you'll gain will be helpful. You don't have to use all of it, but you may pick up something that you'll take with you. And then depending on time, at the end we'll have a Q&A session. So if you have any questions along the way, just use the chat box. We'll get back to those. And what we might not cover today, we'll be able to send out in follow-up to you via email so that you have any information that we didn't cover. So, and also, we will also be sending out a link to the webinar along with the PowerPoint so that you have this information ongoing. So with that, I guess at this point, wanted to introduce our special guest, Kurt Nederveld, who is the CEO of Rainstar Capital Group, and he will be doing most of the speaking today. Kurt has built Rainstar into a multifaceted organization that makes direct investments in distressed debt, provides marketing advisory services, and offers multiple commercial lending platforms. And he's going to tell you more about that and the other services they provide. They help companies build systems, marketing, loan production. And we hope that you're going to come away with something that'll be a difference maker for your business. So if you've at all been on social media, you've probably run across Rainstar Capital Group or Rainstar Marketing or Kurt Nederveld. He's a powerhouse on LinkedIn. So by the way, Kurt, how many contacts are you up to on LinkedIn now?
I think I'm just over 23,000 there, Paul. So good afternoon to you, and very pleased and honored and blessed to be able to be on this call with you. Very excited to be able to speak to the folks, and it looks like, yeah, we have a wonderful turnout. So very, very excited to get this going. And again, thank you, Paul. I want to talk a little bit about LendingOne as well. LendingOne is one of our good partners for everyone on this call. Highly recommend working with Paul. He's definitely a good guy. He'll definitely banter and joke with you a little, if you know what I mean. For example, we're up here in Michigan, and this time of year it's very cold, and so he always has to feel the need to rub it in that he's down in warm Florida. So just be aware of that. So.
Well, it's just one of those things. I have very little to rub in, so if I got that, I'll go with it. So thanks, Kurt.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So
anyway, a little bit about us here at Rainstar. We've been in the capital market space for over 6 years. I had launched our marketing firm, Rainstar Marketing, back in October of 2010, and we launched Rainstar Capital Group early in 2014. And so like Paul said, we operate essentially three platforms here at Rainstar Capital Group. We have our direct investments where we invest from our balance sheet. Primarily we are investing heavily right now into the distressed debt markets, primarily into consumer debt. We have kind of a very unique niche where we're going into a lot of our partner FinTech lenders, these online lenders, and buying out a lot of their portfolios of distressed debt. So that's been, a great business for us. And then our history, like I said, is with our marketing firm, Rainstar Marketing. We've been blessed to serve over 100 clients since we've launched, all in the banking, private equity, and commercial real estate markets. Majority of our marketing clients have all been fund managers and direct lenders, primarily in commercial real estate and corporate finance. And we've gone in, helped them with a whole different slew of marketing services, email marketing, PR news releases. We've set up CRM systems. I've done a lot of advisory work with like the business development officers and the loan officers. But what Rainstar Marketing is known for is running lead generation marketing campaigns for clients on the business social network LinkedIn. And as Paul had mentioned earlier, I've built kind of a very large following on LinkedIn, and just really value LinkedIn because to me, business is all about relationships, and especially so in the capital market space, but especially when you're providing capital. And so the third platform of our business is the debt advisory business. We have 200 plus lenders that we actively work with. A lot of those lenders are and either were or have been or still are our marketing clients. And so not only do we do transactions with them on a daily basis, but we also provide either some sort of consulting and or advisory services to them as well. So anyway, the debt advisory platform keeps us very busy. We have a team of 15 managing directors spread out across the United States. We are currently looking for someone up in the Northeast region of the U.S. So if anyone on this call is interested in joining the Rainstar team, feel free to reach out to me. But we are actively talking to folks. And our team has, on average, 20 to 30 years experience in the banking, private equity, merger acquisitions, and commercial real estate markets. So we've been blessed to, just have a really great team of strong individuals that, are very strong when it comes to underwriting and more importantly, know, our debt products and what it is that we're, able to do for, for clients. So with that said, that's kind of a little bit about us. Let's jump into kind of what we're going to be talking about today. As Paul alluded to, 2017 is just a really big opportunity. Obviously, tomorrow we have the inauguration of our new president, and whether you agree or not with his philosophies, there's definitely going to be a big push into investing in infrastructure and growing the economy. For folks in the capital markets, this presents a really unique opportunity because as everybody knows, business owners, whether it's a small to medium market company or real estate investors, the number one thing that typically holds them back is capital, right? And capital to be able to buy more assets if you're in the real estate space, or working capital to be able to fulfill more contracts if you own a business. So that really presents a great opportunity for finance brokers because a lot of these clients, they need capital. So today we're going to go through and talk about some of the important items that are needed to be a successful finance broker. Okay, and so the first point that we're going to talk about is, why be a finance broker, right? Why, maybe you're an existing finance broker that's on this call. Maybe you're thinking about getting into the finance broker space. So why do it, right? Why is it important? Why would you want to do it, and or why would you want to improve your existing business? The second thing that's really important is what are the best financing products for your local market? Everyone on this call is going to be in different geographic markets, and so one of the things that we typically advise when we do our consulting work with our brokers is to really do an analysis of the types of transactions that you're going to see based on your local market. Third, we're going to talk about which financing products pay you more, which are more lucrative. Four, we're going to talk about which ones are in demand right now. Where is there a big need? Fifth, we're going to touch base on our platform of the 200 lenders that we actually work with and use on a daily basis. I'm going to talk about how we've built our lending platform, which areas we're focused on, and where we see a lot of capital that our fund managers have that need to be deployed. Then we're going to transition a little away from the lending side. We're going to talk about more from a marketing perspective. We're going to talk about the 3 best strategies to attract leads immediately. Obviously, lead flow and deal flow through high-quality leads is a crucial part of your business. And so we're going to talk about some of the strategies on how to attract deals. Seventh, we're going to talk about kind of the 8 best referral partners that can feed you a steady stream of business. Everyone on this call knows that referrals are the highest quality lead. And the reason for that is because they're coming from a referral source, and normally they're pre-selling you and your business, saying, hey, you need to go talk to Kurt at Rainstar. Hey, you need to go talk to Paul at LendingOne. They've got a great platform. They'll definitely be able to help you out. And then finally, we're going to talk about rental properties. Rental properties, everyone, is just a great strategy, and I'll be touching base on this a little later. It's a great strategy from a marketing perspective because a lot of folks, whether they're a business owner or an investor, they want to invest into rentals. And single-family rentals and doing fix and flips is it's a widespread market, and it leads to other opportunities. So that's kind of the 8 main bullet points that we're going to be talking about going into today. At the end of it, Paul's going to be touching base on kind of the broker platform that LendingOne has, which obviously we're members of, and I definitely highly recommend to everybody that's on this call. And then second, here at Rainstar, we are launching a new platform going into this year. It's called the Rainstar Broker Network. Information on it can be found at rainstarbroker.network.com. And essentially what it is, it's a membership-based platform that has 2 levels, basic and VIP. And what we do is we basically provide that whole business-in-a-box solution. The basic package gives 8 different modules that provide training on how to build a successful finance broker business. And then the VIP adds basically a whole other level, which we'll get to in a minute. So anyway, very excited to have this call, very excited to jump into this. The one thing I want to make from a disclaimer perspective is that both Paul and I are not legal professionals, so please understand that the content that is discussed on this call is not to be construed for legal advice. Obviously, if you need advice, go to your attorney. But what we're going to be talking about are some strategies. Also, from an income perspective, there's a huge opportunity to make a lot of income, but there's no guarantee of that. So I want to make sure that we just start the conversation with that disclaimer. So that being said, let's jump in. Let's jump into number 1. And Paul, if you can switch the slide, we can talk about why be a finance broker. Why is that important? So going into 2017, we have a really big opportunity, and the really big opportunity is the fact that all business owners, all real estate investors, like I said earlier, they need capital to grow their business. Across the board, especially with dealing with real estate clients, capital is the #1 thing that holds them back. And if you look at a typical capital stack on the real estate side, obviously, getting that down payment money or getting the private equity that's needed to fulfill that portion of the capital stack is the hardest piece, right? Obviously, there's lots of lenders out there that will lend at 65, 80%, even up to 90% LTV on different assets. But the biggest battle, of course, is getting capital. And one of the things that I've taught over the years is that capital is just a tool, right? And so just like having different tools in your tool belt, one of the most important things that we've typically tried to advise clients on is the fact that you want to become fully aware of all the different debt products out there on the marketplace, because different types of deals need different forms of capital, right? And so if you can get fully educated on the available product lines that are out there, it just really enhances your business. And thus then, as a finance broker, If you can be that trusted consultant that allows that real estate investor or that business owner to not have to deal with that, you become a huge resource for their business, because most business owners that we deal with, they're busy, right? They're busy building the widget, they're busy dealing with manufacturing, they're busy providing the service that they provide to their clients. And so when it comes to capital, not all business owners and real estate investors are fully educated on the availability of different products on the marketplace, and that's where you as a finance broker come into play. And the biggest thing too, if scrolling, going on to the number 2 there, as a finance broker, I've always taught that money is a magnet. Okay, obviously most folks on this call know that my background is in marketing, and money is just a natural draw because everyone needs capital to be able to grow their business. And so it's one of those things that if you can help people know that you have access to capital, it'll open up the door to other opportunities. So the other opportunities then could be great investments, right? The same investors that you finance for their rental properties or their commercial real estate acquisitions, they may present good deals to you. And then number 4 obviously is the potential to create a big business, a 6 to 7 figure business. There's a lot of revenue that can be created. So going into number 2, let's talk about some of the best products for your local market. I'm going to address this from our perspective. Our platform may, though, not be the same platform you want to run with, right? A lot of it, again, depends on the types of leads, relationships, and types of transactions that you are bringing in, currently, and or what it is that you're going to go and market for. So taking a step back and looking holistically at your finance broker business, I always advise clients, you really have to analyze what I call the local market demand. Obviously if you're in rural America, marketing for financing for farming equipment is going to be much more appealing compared to doing mega new construction projects, new construction loan programs. So we need to always analyze where our local market is, what are the types of leads that we're getting in, but then also we have to analyze what is the best profit that we can create from the products that we are currently marketing, right? And I would also throw in there as well, we really need to, one of the big things that I really always focus on with our internal team is time, okay? Time, guys, is the one asset that you don't ever get back. And I learned this lesson at a very young age. 5 years ago when I was 26, I was diagnosed with cancer. And it was a major life event. And on top of that, it was 6 weeks before my wife and I we're about to have our first daughter. And so our whole lives kind of flipped upside down. I had to have 2 major surgeries. I ended up having 38 staples in my chest because they had to go in and remove my lymph nodes. And I was out pretty much that whole 4th quarter. And so I share that story with you for the simple fact that, when you almost lose your life, when you go through something that's very major like that, and I'm sure everyone on this call has a family member, as a friend, has a business associate that they know that's gone through a major medical event, and most people will tell you when you go through that, you come to realize what's important in life, okay? Mm-hmm. And then you also realize how blessed you are to be able to have the time that you have on this earth, right? And so with that being said, a lot of what I'm going to talk about today is how you as a finance broker can create more time for your family, for your pursuits, for your hobbies, for what you're interested in. And then second, how you can effectively manage your time so that you're not chasing deals, you're not wasting your time, but you're investing your time. And so we really want to analyze then which product lines are going to be kind of the best bang for our buck, and which ones are going to close the quickest. Because the reality is, in this space, if you don't close deals, you don't get paid. You don't make money, right? And so when we look to build our business, we want to build our business from a strategic approach, and we want to go through this process of identifying which products are the best. So that said, this is where our firm, Rainstar Capital Group, is focused on these following product lines. These product lines are the ones that we see as the best fit, the most market opportunity, and it's also the area that we we feel we can make the most money and the most return for our time. So starting out, fix and flip rentals, we'll be going through that a little more in depth, so I'll jump through that one. Equipment financing. I cannot begin to tell everybody on this call how much opportunity there is in the equipment finance space. Equipment is used by most businesses, and so we here at Rainstar Capital Group just became a direct lender for equipment transactions from $5,000 to $500,000 through a partnership we have with one of our FinTech platforms. And so we're highly focused on equipment going forward. The next niche that we see huge opportunity in is definitely debt consolidation. There's a lot of businesses that have gotten these merchant cash advances and they're stuck in them. And merchant cash advances can be very expensive. The repayment on that product can be daily, and so we see a lot of businesses that are definitely struggling from a cash flow perspective because they're paying those merchant cash advances. The next one for sure, credit lines. Credit lines. Everybody needs a credit line, right? Whether it's in you're a business owner or whether you're a real estate investor. So credit lines are huge. What I call instant funding. Instant funding is primarily comes from our FinTech lenders. So we've positioned Rainstar to be highly intertwined with every FinTech lender on the marketplace. And the reason for that is, to me, and I think everybody that's in the capital market space will agree, when a business owner, when a borrower comes to you and you ask them the question, when or how fast do you need the capital, everybody wants their money yesterday, right? They want capital as fast as possible. And so the beauty of these FinTech lenders is the ability to fund clients. Our fastest programs here at Rainstar can fund in as fast as 4 hours. And so I would definitely recommend that FinTech programs are where it's at. So the other two niches are contractor credit lines. We have a really innovative contractor financing program for commercial subcontractors. We see a ton of opportunity, and that holds true as well if the infrastructure spending gets in place. We see huge opportunities for that. So hey Paul, you're jumping ahead of me, so can you back up and go to slide 3 now? Can you back it up for me?
You're on a roll. So.
Yeah, thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah. So those are the main product lines that I would recommend the folks on this call kind of focus on. And again, looking at our third topic here, which financing products are going to pay you more. A thing that you've really got to analyze is what is the time that you're spending on the deal. And I love commercial real estate transactions. I love them. They're great paydays. There's a huge need for it. The problem is sometimes you work 30, 60, 90 days on these transactions, and at the last minute, the transaction falls through, right? And how frustrating is that, right? I think, if you're a finance broker on this call, everybody has that story, right? The deal that got away, right? And you were going to make a 5-6 figure commission check, and at the last minute, the appraisal came in bad or whatever it may be. And it's frustrating. It is really frustrating. And so how we analyze the products that Rainstar focuses on definitely is obviously from a monetization perspective, from a market demand perspective, but then we also implement what we call a hunting versus a farming model. So in sales, everybody I'm sure has heard of the hunting versus farming model. And as a marketer, I would really encourage you to think about this model for your business. I've worked with lots of finance brokers over the years, And I've seen finance brokers that just, all their entire models, they hunt. Okay, they hunt. And a very easy example of that is, when you refinance a commercial property owner's building, let's say you refinance for $3.5 million or whatever the amount is. If that business or if that real estate investor doesn't own other properties, how many times is he coming back to you needing new capital? The answer is you may never talk to that individual for a long time, right? I mean, you've refinanced this building. Let's say you got them onto really low interest rate permanent senior debt. And so what do you have to do from a marketing and sales perspective at that point? You've got to market, hustle to find the next real estate investor, or the next property to refinance, right? And so what we try to do is we try to create what we call a farming model, where we go out and we hunt. We obviously bring transactions and partner and borrowers and partners in. But a big thing that, and this is kind of a little secret to success, if you can create a residual model where you bring the partner or the client in and they consistently bring you deals or they consistently bring you funding opportunities, that is just a beautiful model, because you're doing the work, you're bringing in the opportunities, but then you're continuing to have the opportunity to make money off those transactions. So when we look at kind of the 4 products that pay the most, definitely is going to be equipment. One of the ways we create that residual model is in the equipment space. We partner with dealerships, okay? If you think about a dealership, whether they're selling construction equipment or if they're selling commercial trucks or transportation vehicles, each and every day that dealership has buyers that walk in through the door. That becomes a huge leverage point for you as a finance broker, because you don't have to go out and market to the 100 buyers that walked in the door of that dealership in a given week. And if you can create a really strong partnership with the manager, the finance manager at that dealership, they can send you all their turn down business. And so that's how you can kind of create a residual model on that. The reason that we focus, number 2, on instant capital solutions from like the FinTech lenders, sometimes there's not obviously the repeat business that incur, but from an ROI perspective, the ability to take a client and fund them inside of 4 hours, 48 hours, that is a huge return on your time. And so, we definitely, keep focused on the FinTech platform. Fix and flip and rentals are again a great niche as well. The reason for that is twofold. One, a lot of these property owners own multiple properties and or they're looking to buy multiple properties. So again, that gets into our residual model where we create that relationship with that borrower, and they may have a goal of buying 5 to 10 properties this year alone, or even more, depending on the size of what type of business they're looking to do. Then the fourth one for sure is contractor credit lines. In that model, our finance brokers and us, we get paid every time an invoice gets funded. So the model of that is, we build that relationship with the contractor. They have a need for our solution. We fund it for one of their jobs. And then, normally successful contractors have 5 to 10 plus jobs going on. And so it then opens the door to, to the other jobs. So again, just to kind of wrap this up, you want to look at the products that you're going to be marketing from, what's the best ROI of my time, and then also how do I create this residual model so that I don't have to feel like I'm always hunting, always hustling or struggling to find the next the next deal. I've got a platform of accounts of relationships that I'm farming and just getting consistent deal flow from. So scrolling on, and Paul, I'm sure you see that, right? In your business at LendingOne, I know you've told me lots of stories, and obviously some of the clients we've worked on together, where they come in, and they'll start with 1, but all of a sudden they bring you, 5 other properties from their portfolio. Yep. You want to speak a little to that, Paul?
Absolutely, and I think that's one of the greatest points, and it's so fundamental, but at the same time it escapes us because we get busy chasing a transaction, understandably so, especially if it's it's lucrative. But I think you made a great point, Kurt. and as you guys do already, you know, you've got different areas and different ways that you drive business in the door. The repeat business is beyond, you know, that is something you can count on when they're doing, you know, consistently repeat transactions, whether that's on the commercial side or the residential side. That's just money you can kind of count on coming in the door. So that's an excellent point. It's something we forget.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, to me, to become super successful, you need to focus on that residual business, but then you also need to focus on, you know, building out those referral, you know, that referral army for you, right? If you can do that, you know, the success of you closing more transactions is, you know, just going to go through the roof. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about market demand. We see, and I kind of hit on this earlier, but we see huge opportunities, obviously, in the commercial subcontractor space. A lot of these contractors do not have a lot of available debt sources available to them. And so here at Rainstar, we've built just kind of a really unique platform. We have all the lenders that will lend to them, whether it be for working capital solutions like, you know, accounts receivable financing, PO financing. You know, we have a really innovative you know, credit line solution, trade credit line solutions that's just for commercial subcontractors. It's not for, you know, residential subcontractors. But just with, you know, the way the economy is going with the potential infrastructure, definitely contractors are, you know, definitely have a huge need for capital. We've talked pretty heavily about real estate investors, obviously, you know, looking to buy rentals and properties. Again, going on to the next point, credit lines and business. Credit lines, to me, are a more in-demand product compared to a business loan and a merchant cash advance. The reason for that is because obviously a business loan amortizes monthly. A merchant cash advance can amortize, you know, the payback on it can be either daily or weekly. And to be honest with you, we are getting our clients lots of credit lines. And I think the main reason for that is a credit line is what I call on-call capital, right? You don't pay on the funds unless you actually use it, right? And how many, you know, most business owners like to have that, right? They like to have that, you know, check writing ability from the perspective of if a new opportunity comes from, or they also like it for a rainy day, right? If sales are down and they need to be able to meet payroll, credit lines are definitely, you know, definitely where it's at. We've talked about equipment, obviously, both from a cash out refi perspective. You know, we have lots of different lenders that, you know, focus primarily on the collateral of the equipment and will do cash out refis. I mean, we have even some fund managers that won't even do credit checks on the borrowers. They'll just, you know, look to lend from a forced liquidation perspective on, you know, on equipment. So equipment, definitely we're seeing lots of requests for that. And then finally, like I talked about, debt consolidation. You know, the merchant cash advance space it's a great space, great product, but it's an expensive product. And a lot of these business owners have gotten stuck in those merchant cash advances, and they need help because it's sucking their cash flow on a monthly perspective. And so we have a couple of very innovative hedge funds that will come in and consolidate groups that have, you know, 2, 3, 4 MCAs. We have some working term loan products from some of our FinTech lenders that are really awesome from the perspective of, you know, changing and altering the cash flow. And so at Rainstar, we've built just kind of some really unique lending solutions for clients that allow them to get out of these, you know, high-paying merchant cash advances. So, so going on, Paul, if you can jump to the next screen.
Yeah,
so,
if you don't mind, I was curious about something. Are you finding in general that from a lending and credit perspective, that things are becoming more aggressive on that side, or meaning, you know, what a lender will do compared to what they would have done 2 years ago?
Yeah, for sure. Especially here in the first quarter. I have more calls coming in right now from our fund managers pounding the pavement for business and looking to deploy capital. You know, I always joke in the capital market space, you know, when the winter months, or not winter months, but when the holiday season hits, you know, the phones turn off, the emails turn off, and everybody kind of goes and hangs out and plays, right? but when January 3 and 4 hit, everything just turns on, and there's this energy, there's this excitement. And in the last 2 weeks here since we've gotten back into into working, it's been crazy. I mean, it's been just phone ringing off the hook, deals pumping through left and right. And as a finance broker, I highly recommend you play off that, and you get excited, and you start rolling up your sleeves and getting to work. There's so much opportunity for transactions to be completed right now, both from the lender perspective and on the borrower perspective. And again, the time is right now. It's everybody's ready to go. Everybody wants capital. So yeah, it's good. It's good opportunity. So let's continue on here, Paul.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of questions, and I just want to repeat for those that might have joined a little later. We're going to finish up, and we'll do our best, to cover as much as we can at the end, trying to keep the webinar, within the time frame. But they're great questions. What we can't answer today, I assure you, we will get out to you with direct answers, and then share those questions and answers along with the information from today's webinar with everyone. So go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if you can click, so let's talk very briefly about our lender platform. So your key to success as a finance broker really hinges on the diversity and the number of lenders that you have on your platform. Here at Rainstar, we've built probably one of the most robust lender platforms from a diversity perspective and from a product perspective. It's taken us a long time. I mean, I've been in the marketing space, in this space, for over 6 years. I've flown all across the U.S., meeting with different clients. Obviously, as Paul and I mentioned, I have over 23,000 contacts, and I can't begin to stress the relationship aspect to working with fund managers. Fund managers desperately need qualified, strong, and good finance brokers. Finance brokers, to them, streamline their business because they're like a gatekeeper, and they help to bring that fund manager the exact type of transaction that fits their portfolio. And so if you can create a good platform as a finance broker, you will have lots of lenders wanting to work with you. And so, but with that being said, it's taken us a long time. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. It's taken us a lot of meetings, a lot of lunches, a lot of networking. And one of the benefits that we provide to our finance brokers is that you don't have to deal with all that, right? You can just deal on getting the clients into the door, and then we have the underwriting platform and the lenders to get the transaction funded. So scrolling on, let's transition the conversation to marketing. Okay, for the last 6 years, I have been asked, how do we do it, right? How do you get all these leads coming in? How do you keep so busy? How do you close so many transactions? And so in the platform that we're launching, RainstarBrokerNetwork.com, we go into much more of a deep dive than what I'm going to cover right here. But I definitely did want to give you guys some, kind of some golden nuggets or some good strategies on how to do it. And so number one, obviously, you've heard me talk about is for sure LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the #1 platform for you to attract business. LinkedIn essentially replaces cold calling. No longer do you have to worry about reaching out cold to business owners. If you get the LinkedIn program that we run, that my marketing team runs for obviously our company and then our clients, you're just going to have a steady supply of both borrowers coming to you, but then also high quality referral partners. Okay, and so highly recommend that we use LinkedIn. Second, Craigslist is a great platform. It's especially a good platform for like Paul's space and LendingOne. Lots of real estate investors use Craigslist to be able to sell their properties and or find good deals on rentals and fix and flip opportunities. So by running different ads, we focus on educational content. We'll give away a free report that provides great value to that borrower, and then helps to brand Rainstar and get them to want to come and work with us. So Craigslist is definitely a great kind of a great platform to be able to acquire new opportunities. And then third, your referral partners. And I highly recommend that everyone kind of checks out the different associations and networking groups out there. A great online platform is meetup.com. In every local city, if you just go on to Meetup, you can find different niched groups and go to those meetings. You'll meet great people. I listed a couple of the ones here, the CFA groups, Young President Organization, Turnaround Management Association, different bankers, clubs, our RIA clubs, venture capital, angel investment groups, and then chamber, different, the Chamber of Commerce. So highly recommend if you go there. Again, getting back to the money as a magnet concept, if you go to these events and kind of explain to people what it is that you do and what it is that you have, you typically will get flooded by a lot of business. So let's transition now and go into who our best referral partners are going to be. To me, this list here is definitely going to be who you want to network with and build relationships with. On RainstarBrokerNetwork.com, we actually provide a free report. So if you go to that site, you'll see a little pop-up. We go and take each of these niches and kind of do a deep dive into them and identify, kind of why each of these niches is a great referral partner, the types of transactions that they're seeing, and how you as a finance broker, by partnering with these individuals, can definitely get a lot of business. So the list really quickly, merger acquisition advisors, great niche to partner with. Each and every day they're calling on business owners that obviously want to buy and sell their businesses. And when a business is bought and sold, there just opens up a whole fresh opportunity for new capital, whether it be refinancing the real estate, whether it be the equipment, getting working capital. So highly recommend merger acquisitions advisors. Tax consultants, CPAs are great because obviously they're having a conversation with their clients on the needs that they have. They know when a debt note or a mortgage is coming due. They know if the business needs existing capital or if they need more capital for inventory. So CPAs, tax consultants, great niche. Community bankers are huge. I just had lunch with a community banker here in Grand Rapids about a week and a half ago, and he was just floored with the amount and diversity of products that Rainstar has. The problem that a lot of community bankers have is that they're limited because the bank, as most people know, are very conservative when it comes to lending. And so a lot of these bankers will refer the deals over to us here at Rainstar because our programs don't require that the borrower change their depository relationship. And so we kind of come in as as that white knight per se, to be able to help that client solve their financing issue with an alternative debt product, and the banker loves it because they keep that depository relationship. Management consultants are great. They're constantly obviously working with business owners to be able to help improve processes, reduce costs, and obviously they'll know about the financial situation of the business. Equipment dealerships we kind of touched on earlier, huge niche, highly recommend it. Final ones, of course, are commercial and residential real estate brokers, obviously on the buy-sell side for properties. Definitely great partners. And the eighth one is attorneys, who for sure obviously are providing advisory services to clients and will know about when there's a funding need. So scrolling down, going into the next one, the number one reason I'm recommending rental properties is because of primarily because of these 4 points. Most property owners aren't just going to own one opportunity. So getting back to one property. So getting back to what we were talking about, the opportunity to create a residual model is very strong for this niche. Again, property owners are going to need multiple product lines. They're going to need capital to buy the properties, but they're also going to need rehab capital. They're going to need working capital. So some like the credit line, business credit card programs are really good there. And then the third one is really important, guys. Most property owners are also business owners, and so that opens up the opportunity to be able to, get other working capital needs for their business. So, and then the final one, obviously, most business owners are going to invest their wealth into rentals and flips. So, So with that said, we're going to kind of transition now. Paul's going to jump in and talk a little bit about LendingOne. As I had stated earlier, LendingOne has a great platform. We have been highly impressed with the work that they've done with our clients. Highly recommend that everybody on this call, talks to Paul, gets up to speed on their products, because they have just a really great solutions for the marketplace. So, Paul, why don't you jump in, kind of give them the walkthrough on LendingOne, and then yeah, we can look to get this wrapped up.
Yeah, I just want to say that my exposure to Kurt, for all who are on this call, what he does and what he's sharing has been successful for him. This isn't he's not bringing out a litany of just information. This is tried and true. So and they do a tremendous job, and they continue to expand and grow. So. Very good stuff, and we appreciate it. So, and I'm not going to take up a lot of time. We're really more the hosts here. Along the lines of what Kurt said, we find that for our broker customers, our partners, that many times we work with brokers who do both commercial and residential. And the beauty then of this is, as Kurt had mentioned earlier, is that there's opportunity on both sides of that fence, and they have synergy in a lot of cases. So an investor who owns residential properties, maybe does some fix and flips, probably will need equipment, and so it goes. You can kind of play that out yourself. So. The bottom line is, while the larger deals are getting done, and that this is a great opportunity, to be able to have some consistent flow. So with that, we LendingOne's been doing this for quite a while now. We are strictly on the residential side, 1 to 4 family, non-owner occupied only. We lend in the name of an entity, not to individuals. This basically allows us to be kind of in the commercial heading, but we are not commercial lenders. For that, there are obviously other avenues like Rainstar, et cetera. So Rainstar would be the avenue we recommend. And then so basically, we try to provide a well-rounded, platform of different types of loans. Just like in anything else, I would say this, I want to qualify. LendingOne, we definitely have our sweet spot. There are, obviously, for those of you who know this space, we're not alone in it, and there are others. Some will do some things more aggressively than we will. Maybe we provide a little better service than another one would. Maybe our rates and price is better or worse than another. I guess the key there is it's about relationship, finding the right fit for the clients that you have. We really, as you look at the slide, we look into we're more of a fix and flip lender. We'll do a refi to get cash out to expand property base on occasion, but we're not just an equity lender. We really are looking for investors who are experienced, preferably, not always have to be, but that are going to continue to do that kind of business and not, just kind of, take some cash out of a property to, do whatever. So hopefully that's going into additional. And then we also have a buy and hold with our term product. So for those rental properties, as Kurt was mentioning, it's a good opportunity because we do things differently than what Fannie and Freddie will do. And so we have that available, and then we can also, of course, offer pre-approvals, which we'll kind of cover here. So our bridge for fix and flip, 12 months interest only. Obviously, no prepayment penalty. We do want an exit and a takeout. We'll go up to 90%. Some range between 85 and 90, 80 to 90. That's kind of reserved for some experienced investors who have liquidity, who have been around the block. So, so that we can get there. We're looking for that right person. When we have them, I will share with you that when that sweet spot's there, it's a fit from a profile. The service we provide is great. We get into transactions sometimes, I will admit, where maybe it wasn't one we should have started on, but we're trying to, get a deal done for one of our partners. And, it's just, sometimes things go a little sideways, but that's a rare occurrence. That takes a little longer than normal. Our normal turn time on our bridge for the fix and flip is 10 to 14 days. We actually are pretty consistent on that. I believe we averaged under 15 last year. So the right borrower, the right situation, those flow pretty quickly. And then you can kind of see the rest of the layout there. Then as far as the rental loans, these are no income verification loans. Where these might come into play would be if you have a borrower who has multiple properties, they're maxed out, they can't go conventional because of the limitations there. I understand they're expanding those, but even with that, there are still borrowers who are beyond those. Also, since we don't get tax returns for that product, then there's many business owners who obviously write everything off and leverage as best they can, so they may not qualify the other way. We are not Fannie Freddie rates, but I think in this space we're very competitive, and I think again this one generally takes a little longer. Usually we can get these done within 3 weeks. So it just depends on how quickly we get all the information we need and get the process going. And then for mainly the fix and flips, we always recommend, if you have a prolific investor, that we just start out getting them set up with a kind of a line of credit. It's not a drawable line, but we establish for them an amount that they could qualify for. And then basically we've underwritten the borrower. They have already passed all of that, and now it's just a matter of going and getting the property, and then we close. So it's a very streamlined process. It makes things go a lot easier. Again, if you have a borrower who intends to continue to do that along the way. So that's kind of an overview. And again, I know we got questions coming in. We're going to try to answer those as best we can. But what we don't get to here, we'll get more information about that to you specifically. But we appreciate it. I know that we have some folks on that we've worked with, and we invite whatever questions you have. Again, we'll be forwarding all the information from this webinar as well, so that you have everything that you need. So, and then Kurt, I know from the standpoint of your new membership-based platform, I think you've just kind of gotten that in place, and probably you want to talk about that a little bit for the finance brokers.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want a quick flick to the next screen. Sure. So I encourage everybody to kind of go to RainstarBrokerNetwork.com. Feel free to watch the little video, and also spend some time on the site learning a little bit about what we're providing. But essentially, to me, as I've mentioned throughout this presentation, you can either invest your time, or you can waste a lot of time. And I've seen a lot of finance brokers in the space get caught up wasting time, either chasing bad deals, or not marketing the right products, or just not having a system that creates what I call a predictable pattern. Okay, what we care about as finance brokers is serving our clients, serving our lenders, but we also care about, let's be honest, closing deals. Okay, and if we're not closing deals, then internally we're hurting, our family, our financial situation's hurting, and so really you need to have a system that you can tap into to be able to build success. And that's what we've created with Rainstar Broker Network. So we created 2 levels of it. We have the basic package, and then we have the VIP package. VIP is definitely it's more expensive than the basic. It's 15 grand. It's definitely going to be for the person or the group that wants to have their own business and run with it. Basic is going to be the training modules for the groups that want to get that training, want to grow their business, and we cover everything in the training models. Everything from how do you build up the lead generation platforms, how do you get the right deals coming to you, how do you have the right systems, how do you build those relationships with the lenders, which products are going to be best. And then in VIP, we kind of take it up a whole level. We basically give you our business in a box solution I'll fly out and meet with you one-on-one. I will come to your office and we will go through a day of training together. I will kind of show you the ins and outs of the business. I will personally introduce you to a bunch of our lenders, and it's just a really great solution. So, highly recommend everybody go check it out. Whether or not you want to work with Rainstar and have us be kind of your back-end office, there's a lot of value that we can provide you either from the education perspective or from or from a closing business perspective. We love to close deals. If you Google us, you'll see lots and lots of closings, and that's kind of what we try to get across to our finance brokers is, you can be very successful. You can take your business from whatever level you're at and get up to the next level, but you have to have the right systems in place to do that. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for taking the time to kind of go through this. Paul, I know we've got about 6-7 minutes here, trying to get this done in an hour. I want to thank you, Paul, LendingOne, for giving us the opportunity to speak and to kind of get across some of this knowledge and these strategies and systems. But why don't we jump into some of these questions here? I know we're getting them typed in here pretty fast. Let me just, Paul, I'll start with the first one if you'd like. What is what is the process here? It looks like Liza's asking, what is the process to become an approved broker with you, Paul, at LendingOne?
Well, it's very simple. Basically, what we'll do is, again, you'll have contact information along with any information we'll send a scheduling link. If you want to talk about how we do things, what our process and our products are, we'll get you the link to an electronic sign up. We hope, we'll spend some time just making sure that it's a good fit for you. And if so, then we'll get you signed up. We assign a dedicated loan specialist to make sure that they're involved as well in the transactions and everything is going well. You have the communication you need. So it's very simple. 20 minutes on the phone, we get everything rolling, and appreciate that. So you'll have all that information again as we send everything out after the call. And I think this, Kurt, is for you. Lydia asks, how or can Rainstar finance clients with credit scores below 600?
Yeah, absolutely. It depends on obviously the product line that we're doing, but yeah, for sure. We have, like on the equipment side, we have lenders that will do no credit checks. Obviously with some of our real estate lenders, a lot of them are more collateral based or asset based. So yeah, to answer her question, yeah, we can cover that. So
great.
Paul, let's try to fly through a couple more of these. Do you want to grab these and just
read
them either for you or I, or?
Yeah, I'll get you. Here's one from Stephen. I'm an existing finance broker and have been in this space for the last 2 years. I feel at times my lead generation is lacking, wanting to know specifically how this Rainstar broker network can help with my marketing. I guess you kind of covered that, but do you want to?
Sure. So what we do on the new platform is we take, I just showed you 3 strategies, right? Craigslist, networking, and LinkedIn. There's a whole other slew of strategies that we implement. And what we do in the training modules is we do a deep dive in how you actually set that system up, how you either have the right assistant to run it or how you outsource it. But the whole point of marketing, everyone, is that you need to have a consistent lead flow coming in. And you have to be out there, right? You have to brand yourself effectively, and you have to be getting a consistent amount of borrowers through, because not every borrower, you're not going to finance every borrower that comes through, right? Due to credit reasons, due to the collateral, due to lack of net worth or cash. And so the key is you have to have a steady stream of business. So we do that through the modules by teaching you how to set up your internet marketing systems. And then we do it through also strategically building out, through a process that we call network mapping, building out your referral partner network so that you have a consistent amount of referrals that are coming in on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. So what we do in that new platform and program is we kind of do a deep dive, but then we kind of walk you step by step what you need to do to set those things up. And then the beauty of it, once it's set up, you can turn a lot of these things onto autopilot, so that you're just kind of sitting back, sifting through the the opportunities that come through. So, go ahead, Paul. grab a couple more of these. I know we got a couple more minutes.
Here's one, Marcus. Does Rainstar have any funding programs for unique assets such as yachts, cars, jewelry, etc.?
Yes, absolutely. So one of the unique things about us here at Rainstar, like I said, is we have the ability to go in and find client leverage in all the available areas, right? Whether it be their equipment, whether it be their real estate, whether it be their cash flow, whether it be their credit, whether it be hard assets. Yeah, to answer this question, we do have fund managers that will lend. They'll do no credit checks, no like income or revenue checks. We have groups that will just strictly look at the value of that yacht or the jewelry or the car, the luxury car, whatever it may have or whatever it may be, and extend capital. Obviously, a lot of those fund managers are expensive. They definitely make a good ROI on lending capital.
Yeah.
But the nice thing is when a client needs kind of instant capital and they have that asset sitting there, it's definitely a nice solution to be able to create that instant liquidity. So
Right.
Yeah.
Another quick one, and I think this is a pretty easy one for you, Kurt. Can we refer business to Rainstar without utilizing the new fee-for-service broker platform?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, they're not required to go through the training. We encourage it, obviously, because it will help you grow your business, but it's not a requirement.
Good. Okay. And then let's see. I've got one. I'll take this one. Maybe somebody caught it. The broker portal. We are adding an online system for direct application where brokers can track their pipeline, where you can see statuses of your files, etc. Get quick pricing. That is nearing end of development, and we're hoping to see it in the next couple of weeks. We did think it would be ready by now, but as is always the case, it seems technology, a little hiccup here, and suddenly it's 2 weeks later. So we are getting there, and we will keep everybody aware of all of that as we get closer. Of course, we'll announce that. And then I have another one here for you, Kurt, kind of a transaction specific, but you mentioned earlier the consolidations of merchant cash advances. How long does that normally take?
From a funding and logistics perspective, it's going to depend on the product line. So if we go through our FinTech lenders, we can get deals done in as fast as 4 hours. I mean, typically, like some of the working term loans take like 48 hours. For more of the larger MCA debt consolidation transactions, we're probably going to be looking at 2 to 3 weeks or so. There's obviously a fair amount of underwriting and due diligence, and there's payoffs, obviously, of the existing MCAs, so it does take a little while. But it depends on the amount, depends on the credit profile, depends on the borrower, the type of business it is, and then also the number of MCAs, what the amount is. So there's kind of a bunch of different variables. And that's why, what we always advise, and I would definitely advise all the finance brokers on this call, you want to do a really in-depth, what I call debt discovery process with a client. And you need to walk them through all the areas that they could potentially, get leverage out of based on the assets they have, the cash flow, the credit, all those areas. And kind of what we find here at Rainstar is two things. One is when you go through that process, they may come to you wanting one thing, and you might find that by getting them a different product, it's actually a better solution, it's more cost effective. But then second, by actually going through that process, we find that we end up getting clients 2, 3, 4 products just by going through that process. So if somebody comes to you just wanting an equipment loan, take a step back, ask them about their business, ask them if they own investments, do they own any rental properties, what's their credit looking like, and you'll be really surprised when you go through that process and how all of a sudden they'll start talking about other opportunities, which leads to other fundings and other closings, obviously. So anyway,
yeah, I think that's a great point. I think early on in my career, a long time ago, that somebody told me that application is that the more depth you have in that application is not just to help the lender, it's to help you for future business. So the more you get to know your client, the more information you have, the better off you're going to be, not only for getting the deal done, but also for future opportunities. I mean, that's it seems fundamental, but it really is. You do a little deeper dive, and you might come up with some diamonds. So.
Yeah.
I think we're past our time. Kurt, I just want to thank you. I again want to tell everybody, Rainstar has built this to a place that offers opportunity in a lot of different directions. Kurt's a great guy. They have great people there. I highly recommend that you at least look into the opportunities that they provide, if not the full service, but certainly the information you've given everybody today, Kurt, has been very valuable. A lot of great comments, and appreciate you coming aboard with us on this. I want to tell everybody we'll have more of these coming throughout the year, so keep your eyes open. We want to give you as much information and as many tools as we can. We want to support you in your business. That just helps everyone. And again, we will forward out information. We will send the PowerPoint. We will send a link to the recorded version of this, and you'll have all that. We will also answer directly any questions we didn't cover today. Actually, we'll go ahead and re-answer the ones we have. And just thank you all for being here. It's a great turnout, and we hope to see you again the next time. And we appreciate it.
Very good. Yeah, thank you so much, Paul. We appreciate the opportunity and really appreciate everyone on the call. Get excited. 2017 is a good year. It's an exciting year, but at the same time, it's what you make of it, right? So focus on building your systems, focus on growing your business, and there's just going to be a lot of opportunity. So thank you again, Paul. Really appreciate you sponsoring this call and asking me to speak. And, Happy New Year to everybody. Let's make it a good 2017.
Thank you.